Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I thought it would be fun just to play with some new makeup that I've been collecting over the past month and also to test out some lip products. I have mentioned many times I'm not a lipstick person, I like chapstick, right? So I'm starting to venture out and I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of lip swatching. I picked out 5 new lipsticks. Before we get started, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button. It would mean so much to me, and we will get started. So the first piece of new makeup that I collected was actually from my BoxyCharm. I don't know if you've heard of BoxyCharm. It's just a monthly makeup subscription. It comes with, it's not just makeup, it's got skincare in it as well, and it just comes once a month. And there are 3 tiers in it. I just do the basic 3 tiers, so it's like $21 a month, I think. But anyways, this Viseart Professional Makeup Seamless Eye Primer came in my last box, so I figured we would try that out today. Comes in like a little squeezy tube, so I'm just gonna put it on my... That looks clear. Let's see what that does. It kind of feels like silicone-y, like almost like the Smashbox Blurring Primer. I think that's the one, where it feels like watery but powdery, and it's clear, so I don't really know, and I'm taking a lot less on this eye, but I don't really know how clear eyeshadow primer is supposed to work, because I just know that I have some veiny eyelids and I use a colored eyeshadow base or eyelid primer to cancel out my veins basically. But we'll give it a go. I'm a bit skeptical on it. Next, I would like to try the Charlotte Tilbury Bejewelled Eyes to Hypnotise palette. This was actually another one of my purchases from Cult Beauty, and I know that it's here in the US and I didn't have to do that, but it was on sale on Cult Beauty when I was looking at the Huda Gold Obsessions palette. If you haven't seen my last video with that palette, I will link it up in the cards. Also, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out because there is a giveaway going on. But anyways, so I purchased this one along with that one just because it was, like, my whole order on Cult Beauty was the price of this in the US. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. But I mean, it's a stunning palette. There are quite a bit of shimmer shades in this palette. There's only 3 mattes out of the 12. I think what we're gonna do is start with this center shade here in the Happy Glow area. And I'm just taking ColourPop E22 blending brush. And we're gonna pop that in the crease and a little bit above. So far, it's blending out really nice. I like the pigment to it. It's not overwhelming, but it is there. The one thing I'm not really happy with is that my veins are showing through significantly. So I don't like that eyeshadow primer. I'm actually a little bit bummed about it. I do really like that shade though. It blended out seamlessly, and I think the pigment is there. I didn't really have to pack it on, so that's nice. Next, I'm going to dip into this more maroonish shade in the Love Glow area here. And I'm actually just going to stamp that on the outer third here. And we're just kind of deepening it up this outer third area. When there's a lot less product on my brush too, I'm going to start to blend it with that other color as well. I'm so distracted by my veins in my eyes. I don't know if you can see. Just looking at them, they're not too bad, but when I lift up my eyebrows, they're intense. I tend to do that to put my eyeshadow on to get the eyeshadow in the crease of my eye, and it's like all I can focus on right now. It's making me upset. I'm just gonna take a blank blending brush now and clean up my edges. I think the maroon color is kind of leaving a pretty harsh line, so we're just gonna clean up those edges real fast. Next, I'm going to go into my first shimmer shade. It is this center one here in the Dream Glow. I'm just gonna use my finger like I normally do. Feels super creamy. Do the same to this eye. For my last shade, I'm gonna go into this lightest shimmer, this first shade in the Dream Glow. And I'm gonna use a flat brush just because it's hard for me to use my fingers and get into my inner corner. But this way we can also test out how it does with brushes. a really pretty color, nice and light with this light tinted pink to it. The opacity is not quite there with the brush, so I am trying to layer it up a little bit. I'm gonna go back into that burgundy shade, and we're just going to blend it a little bit better into that first darker shimmer shade we used. Now I'm gonna go back into my first brush, the very first shade we used, and we're going to clean up the edges and bring a little bit of warmth back. I'm gonna go back into that blank blending brush, and I'm just gonna blend out this shimmer to matte area a little bit. Not too much though, because the shimmer shades tend to migrate. If you blend over here and then blend over here with your blank blending brush, you're gonna get shimmer on your outer third, and that's not what I want. So I'm just trying to keep it in where the most shimmers are. So I like this look. The only thing I'm disappointed in is over here. I don't know if you guys can see, I have a really dark vein right here next to the red. So it kind of looks like it's bruised, and it's kind of bugging me. But other than that, these eyeshadows are phenomenal. I really like how this turned out. So I am going to clean up my shape a little bit, put some mascara on, and we'll be back. All right, so I did get my eyes cleaned up. There really wasn't too much fallout, so that's nice. And I got my eyelashes curled, so now we're gonna go in with some top mascara. And I have a little sample of the Surfer Curl from Tarte. It's in their C collection. So I thought it would be fun to just give this a go. It's a nice mascara. I don't think it's wowing me. Alright, so I'm not a huge fan of this mascara. I think I either got like a really dry bottle or this mascara just doesn't do it for me. It's actually clumpy. Like I had to pick clumps out and it would fall as I was applying it. So that's not cool. I just don't think it really lengthens or volumizes. It just kind of turns your eyelashes more black. So I probably won't be using this again, but we'll keep going. I do have another sample. It's from Cover FX, and it is a Water Cloud Primer, and it's supposed to help fight pollution and be a defense for blue light. So like, this might actually be good for me since I do have to be on the computer a lot, but it says it refreshes all skin types with a cooling effect, helps defend against pollution and blue light rays, and extends makeup wear. We're gonna give it a go. I ordered a blush and a bronzer from Cover FX on the company's website, and when you check out, they give you the option for like, I don't know, 20 different samples. Like, you get to choose too. Obviously they don't have unlimited, like not everything, not all of their products are samples, but they've got some good options. So it's blue, which I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. And we're just going to go ahead and apply that everywhere. It actually feels really nice. Cooling effect is definitely there, but it also doesn't feel silicone-y. It does feel like it's got the water in it, which I really like, and it is quite tacky, so that's nice. For foundation, I picked up this one. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I have heard so many good things about this that I finally just had to try it. Well, I didn't know it was a screw-on lid with just an opening. I don't like foundations like this because I always end up dumping too much out. Ugh, that actually kind of irritates me. I should have done a little bit more research. I hope that the hype of this foundation will justify the lid. And I did actually go to Sephora to get color matched for this foundation because it was so hyped up about. I was like, I can't just guess online. So I actually went to Sephora to get color matched, and they didn't have my shade. So I was just kind of waiting for it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, maybe Ulta has it, and they did. So sometimes I forget that there's more than just Sephora or more than just Ulta. All right, I don't know how I feel about this yet. I think like on the outer portions of my face and like over my cheeks, I think the finish is beautiful. But looking up closely, like around my nose and my lips, I think it looks really dry and cakey, and I don't know why. Unless I have like a super dry nose and super dry like upper lip here. I don't know why it would look like that. But like the rest of it, like my forehead and my cheeks and under my chin, like I think it looks beautiful. Hopefully it'll wear all day and I can see how it works and I'll like it. Although I am disappointed in the bottle. Dang it. For concealer, I picked up the Dose of Color Meet Your Hue, and I absolutely love the Meet Your Hue foundation by Dose of Colors, so when I saw that they also had a concealer, I needed to pick it up. And it's just a standard doe foot applicator. Whew, that might be a little too bright for me. Might not have guessed my shade, the concealer, too well. Actually, I think I did pretty good now that it's blended out. And I like the coverage on it too, that covered up the blue very nicely. I'm going to highlight my nose a little bit too. Hopefully that'll help with the foundation situation on my nose. I do like this concealer though. It's super pretty, it blends out very nicely, and I think it's got a good amount of coverage too. So far I'm pleased with this. I don't have any new products for my eyebrows, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my brow gel put in and we will be right back. So please enjoy the brow intermission.
Yes, give the ball back before you ruin it.
For blush, I picked up the Kosas Light in Color. It's a cream blush, but it's in the shade Velvet Melon. So it is a blush and a highlight, and they're both just cream. So that's why we're not powdering yet. We're gonna put on the cream first. And I'm just gonna use my mermaid brush that I like to use for blush. Actually, I think that blends out very nicely. It's a really pretty color too. I think it matches the eye look pretty nicely today too. It does have like a little bit of a glow to it. Not like a sparkly sheen or anything, but it's got a nice glow. And I'm just putting it everywhere I typically like to put blush. I like to put it on the sides of my chin to make it look like I've got a more defined chin. I like to do a little bit on my nose as well, a little under my nose, and just a touch like above my eyebrows. Now for highlight, I'm just gonna use the brush that I like for highlight. This is a Wet n Wild P65. We're going to see what this does on the high points of the cheek. Actually, we'll just do the whole C. So far, I'm really liking this duo. And we're just gonna use that highlight on the tip of my nose, the bridge of the nose. My nose does not look good. And it all started with that foundation. I think this is stunning. I actually really like both of these shades. I think the highlight I might like a touch more than the blush, but so far so good. I like these. Next we are going to powder just under my eyes a little bit. Actually, that concealer hasn't really creased at all. I have like one over here, but the rest hasn't, so that's nice. I'm going to pat anything out though, just in case. I am going to do the center of my face a little bit more, so like up here. Right. Basically the T-zone is where I'm going to set. And that's just because that's where I get oily. Typically, if I'm just using powder products and no creams, I will just set my whole face. But I don't want to, I'm hoping the bronzer will clean up this area a little bit, but I don't want to like put too much powder over the blush and the highlight because I still want you to be able to see it. For bronzer, I'm just going to use my Monochromatic bronzer duo in the shade Sunkissed Bronze from Cover FX. And this is just to help warm up the cheeks a little bit, hopefully cover up my blush mistake, and warm up the complexion. A little bit up on the forehead, but a little bit under the chin. So my bronzer did not clean up my blush mistake, so I'm just going to go back into my powder and see if I can kind of at least lighten it up a little bit and clean up the bronzer, because I brought the bronzer down pretty far. I think that's about as good as it's going to get right now. We are going to finish up the lower lash line, and I go back into this first brownish shade. Actually, just kidding. I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to go into the burgundy shade. Let's start that on the outer third. Next, we're going to take my shader brush that I used for the inner corner. We're going to flip it over to the side I didn't use and spray that with some Fix Plus. I'm going to go back into the middle shimmer that I used, which was the center shade here. And then we're going to pop that right in the center, like we did on the top lash. That actually looks really pretty with a wet brush. And next we're going to go back to the lighter side of the brush, spray that with some Fix Plus as well. And then we'll go into the lightest shade we used, which was this one here. And we'll put that right in the inner portion of the eye. And I'm actually going to just make it the inner corner highlight and connect it to the top. For my little trick, since we've kind of got that brownish shade on the top, I'm gonna do that again on the bottom. That way it looks like it's a full circle. I am gonna put on my lower lash mascara and we will come back to do some lip swatches. All right, so I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little frustrated. I think this foundation isn't good for me, which makes me sad because I've heard so many good things about it, but I don't think it's working with my skin very well. Or maybe it's the Creme products that I use, the blush and the highlight. I don't know, I just feel like there's a giant patch right here. My nose is terrible, okay? There's like a blank line down the center. I don't know, I'm not thrilled with it. So if I look a little agitated, that's what's going through my head. So I told you guys I was dabbling a little bit more into lip products. So I picked up a couple of shades from the drugstore. I've got 3 from Maybelline and 2 from Wet n Wild, which I believe the Wet n Wild ones are new. They're from their Mega Last Matte. We're gonna do some swatches, that way you guys can see how I'm learning and hopefully help you guys as well. So the first color from Wet n Wild is the shade Bare It All. Looks like this. Ooh, it's like a nudie pink. Like that one. The second shade from Wet n Wild is Never Nude. So this one's a bit more brownish. Ooh, it's actually got a little bit more peach in it. So that's pretty. It's actually really pretty. First shade from Maybelline is Almond Rose in their matte formula. Ooh, this is pretty. This one looks like it's got a bit more pink to it. Yeah, definitely more pink there, but very pretty. The second shade is Truffle Tease, and I picked this color out because I had heard many good things about it. So this one is a bit more brown as well. Ooh, that's really pretty. And then the last shade is Peach Buff. So looks like this one. And yes, definitely a bit more pink. So there are all 5 swatches. And honestly, the one that I think is gonna match the eye look the most is the second shade we used, which was that nude, Never Nude color from Wet n Wild. I don't know, let's hold them up with my eyes. Maybe we'll do the Bare It All. I think that one has a little bit more pink in it. I don't know. This is why I don't do lip products, because it's so much easier to just put on my lip balm and move on, instead of debating which product I want to use and it take 10 minutes. But we're gonna use the Wet n Wild. It's in the shade Bare It All. Bear with me as I'm not a pro at this and I will probably end up with lipstick on my teeth by the end of this video. So just bear with me, and we don't need to mention the lipstick on the teeth if it does happen. So this is what it looks like on, and let me tell you, this stuff is sticky. Yeah, very sticky, so I don't really like that. I think I'm gonna have to put a lip gloss on just so it doesn't feel so sticky and tacky. I'm just gonna pick the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Moon. I like the color. I think the color goes well with the eyes, but it is so sticky. So I don't know if I got a bad one or if it's actually supposed to be like that. I have no idea. Okay, so that is like a million times better. Putting a lip gloss over it, that way you still see the color, but you don't have such a sticky lipstick on. I actually like that a lot. I'm gonna spray my face with some setting spray and we will come back with my final thoughts. So here's the final look. I have yeses and nos to it. First things first though, let's start with the positive. This eyeshadow palette is stunning. It's absolutely amazing. I thought the colors blended out beautifully. I didn't see any patchiness other than like my little bruise area looking over here, which was not this palette's fault. I love the eye look. I absolutely love it. But to start at the beginning, the Viseart eyeshadow base is gonna be a no for me. I don't like that it's clear. I don't think it helped, and that is what contributed to this bruisey area thing right here. And it's just because you can see the dark blue veins through the red, the burgundy, and if I used my MAC Pink Pot, I know that wouldn't have happened. So this is gonna be a no. Next is the Surfer Curl mascara. I think that mascara looks nice, but it's not my favorite. I don't think it really volumized or lengthened my lashes. I think it just kind of put black on them, so it just looks a little bit darker. but I don't think this is anything special. And I honestly think I got a dried out one because it crumbles, which makes me sad. But thankfully it was just a sample, so now I know I won't buy the real one, or the full size. Next on my list, we used the Water Cloud Primer from Cover FX. I thought this was really great. I did. I liked the cooling sensation putting it on. I thought it was very tacky. I do want to see if I notice a difference from the blue light, because I do have to go get on my computer after this, but I do wonder too, with how sticky it is, if that is why this foundation is not being friendly. I wonder if these two just didn't mix, which is gonna make me sad because I like this. I would actually buy this based on what I know so far. But for this foundation, as I mentioned, I don't like the lid. I don't like bottles like this. I either always get too much or it becomes super messy, and I'm just not a fan. But the other issue with it is that my nose looks terrible, and even putting on concealer and then the highlight and the blush, there's a giant patch right down the center where there's no product, nothing. And I don't know if just all of those products together just didn't mesh, or if this is not good with cream products. I would like to try this the way I normally do my makeup, which is typically with all powders, so I will give this another chance, but for now, this is in the maybe category. This Dose of Colors concealer, I actually really like. I thought it covered up the blue under my eyes beautifully. It didn't really crease while I was putting on the blush, which was awesome. I don't know if I really needed to set it. I know that the foundation you don't really have to set, so that's nice. I'm gonna keep messing with this one. I do want to use this with the foundation that matches. I like to do that with foundations and concealers, so I will keep you updated on this one. So for this blush and highlight, I love the colors. I think they're stunning, and I thought the blush blended out beautifully, and I really liked the highlight too. It's very subtle, but I know it's there, so it looks very natural. I really like it. Other than this giant patch right here, I thought it was wonderful. I just wonder if it doesn't work well with this foundation, if this foundation is super picky. So I will continue to use this and test it out a little bit more. I do like it so far. I think the last things that I tried out were the lipsticks, and honestly I am pretty proud of myself for the shade range that I got. I was trying to keep it pretty neutral, but I do like a pink lipstick, not a pink lipstick, but a pink lipstick. If that makes sense. Oh yeah, definitely lipstick on the teeth as well. That's cute. Gosh, I'm gonna have to figure out how to not do that. Hopefully. If you guys have any tips and tricks on how to keep your lipstick from getting on your teeth, I would love to know. I would also love to know if you guys have any favorite lip products. As I'm learning more about them, I would love some help. And if you guys have any products that are just your ride or die for lips, let me know. Leave them in the comments. I think that is all I've got for you today. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. It helps me keep this channel going and supports me. Other than that, I will be here on Tuesdays and Fridays, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget there's a giveaway. Check out my last video, gold mining in the UK, to figure out the details for that. All right, I will see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.